Hope you're doing okay, guys. Welcome back to Teacher Kenny's English for Everyone. Hope you've been doing okay. Hope you've been studying. I say that every time, but I mean it. I really do. And I know you're not just looking at my channel. You're probably looking at your English in many different ways, and that's what you should be doing. But today, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, or I'll get you. But today, one thing I noticed when I was in China, and I've noticed it with other foreign speakers, and I never figured out where it comes from. It's the way people use the word later and the way we use the word these days. Okay? And I'll explain here. Then I'm going to let you see a video of me actually teaching this lesson in class in Shangzhou, Henan, China. Okay? I have video, and you'll get to see what I looked like 10 years ago. I was still handsome. But when it comes to using the word later, I always noticed, and it hurt my ears the first few times I heard it, because I've never, in oral English, we never say it the way I'm about to tell you. A student may come up and say, "Teacher, I think we need to go shopping 2 days later." Or, "Teacher, 2 days later, I think we should go shopping and go to the park." Or, "Teacher, me and the class, we're coming to your house 30 minutes later and we'll cook dinner." But it's always blah, 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 later. Or later, blah, 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 blah. And it's not that it's wrong, but in oral English, and I've never seen it in books. I've never, ever noticed it in books. And I'm an author also, so. But what I told them, what you need to do with oral English especially, is you say something like this: "Teacher, I think in 2 days we should go shopping and go to the park." Or, "Teacher, we're coming to your house in 30 minutes. Or, we're coming to your house in half an hour." See, we plug in there, and to me it's more time relevant also. Sometimes later is kind of up in the air. It's not certain. But I always felt like when you say, "Teacher, I'm coming to your house in 30 minutes. And that means, and when they say that means I know they're going to be there in 30 minutes. So think about that when you say later, it's not that you would be doing it wrong. It's just in oral English we never really do it like that. And when you listen to movies and TV and stuff, you'll notice that we never do that. So just say, "Hey, Teacher Kenny, I'm going to watch your video again in 15 minutes. Okay? Now another thing I ran into was the use of the word these days. And it always kind of drove me up the wall when they said it like this. But what was happening? I'll give you an example. One time I walked into the dean's office of my school. I wanted to visit with him about something. And the secretary said, "Oh no, the dean is busy these days." So he's busy these days? I can't pop in and ask him a question? She said, "No, he's just so busy these days." Well, to me, these days could be last week, this week, next week. When can I go see the dean? If he's busy these days, and what she was trying to say, and I've ran across this many times, she was meant to be saying today. No, he's busy today. Maybe come back tomorrow. She could have said something like that. I go, well, okay. But when I say, hey, I need to see the dean, and they say, oh, well, he's busy these days, you can't see him. It's like, I'm going to get you. I need to see the dean, But it's the way that they use this. So always be careful about using certain phrases like that. Like I said, it can, to us, the native speaker these days, and probably a lot of other English students these days, is a general time frame, kind of like with later. To me, later is not as uncertain. Like when they said, I'm coming to your house later. Well, later might be in 1 hour, or later might be at 8 o'clock tonight. Understand? So try to be more specific when you are talking to native speakers, because time is always important, and we don't want to waste, our time. So anyhow, there's a little bit about later and the use of later and these days. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm going to give you a special surprise, and you're going to get to see me teaching a class when I was in probably 2013, when I was in Shangzhou, Henan, China. So you get to see this lesson, and I hope you learned something today, okay? But you have a great one, and we will talk to you later. Oh my God! I'll talk to you maybe tomorrow, but we'll talk to you later. So bye-bye.
So like right now we're filming here. See, hello everybody. See, what we're going to do right now, I'm going to give you a little lesson. We'll talk about some problems that Chinese English learners have. And today we're going to be talking about later, the use of later, and the way you use this term these days and this day. I'm going to have my lovely student Emma will be holding the camera for me.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is focus on me here and just pay attention. All right, later. You guys use the term later much differently than we do, the native English speakers. You always will say stuff to me like, oh, okay, Kenny, we'll go shopping 2 days later. Or you might say, oh, I'm going to come see you 2 hours later. Stuff like that. We'll go, I want to visit you 2 days later. Or somebody like Seeger, you may call me and say, I'm going to be at your house 30 minutes later. We never say it like that orally. I never see it in literature. I've never seen that said like that, even in a book. So even in America, if you hear somebody say that, it's probably a Chinese guy. What we want to do is come back over here, like we will go shopping 2 days later. Now what you need to say in oral English is like, hey, teacher, in 2 days, let's go shopping, okay? Or, use the word like, I think we should go shopping in 2 days. Or teacher, I'll come see you in 2 days. You don't have to ever say later. Okay, you understand that? Teacher, I'll be at your house in 30 minutes. You don't have to say, teacher, 30 minutes later I'll be at your house. But it's something, I don't know who teaches you that, but lots of you do it, okay? But think about 2 days, in 2 days, anything like that. You don't ever have to say later, okay? All right, now come back over here. Sometimes I may say, like I walk into, say, the dean's office. I say, I need to see the dean. And the lady might say, well, he's busy these days. Oh, he's busy these days? No. He can't be busy these days. What she means to say is today. And lots of you do it. I hear it from time to time. Instead of today, you'll say these days. See, to a native speaker, these days means recently, like glitching, glitching while I'm home, something like that. But when you say these days to an English speaker, that's what he's thinking. You're thinking today. Sometimes you'll say this day too. Some people say this day. It's easier to accept this day than these days. These days will make the foreigner mad. If I said, I want to see the dean right now, or I want to see the dean today, and the lady goes, oh, he's busy these days. Well, we're going to get kind of upset. So be real careful about, if you do this, make sure you just say today. And on later, there's no reason to say later the way you do, okay? Everybody understand? Good.